Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. And today we are here with a video on the death of the true rookie in soccer cards, paired up with a picture of Julian Alvarez with it. This is something I've thought for quite a while, but it's really been exacerbated the last couple of years, and I wanted to make a video kind of going through that myself and just have a fun sort of project that we're going to go and do here. So this is going to be a thought experiment played out live for all to see. So let's get into it. I am going to go on over to eBay. I have Julian Alvarez half typed in, so then I can go and start to search. I also have the sales history app with Card Ladder pulled up here, so I'm going to be able to, find past sales that way as well. And I'm just going to go and try to find what, in my opinion, is the Julian Alvarez card, or what should be considered the best rookie for him, right? And so this is going to be quite a task, as we'll come to see. I am truly coming at this from a place of total ignorance. I'm not really caught up on modern rookies because it's not really something I want to chase and go after in terms of soccer. There's an odd and end card I might buy, but beyond that, it really doesn't go that deep for me. So I don't have much preconceived notions. I do sort of know all these sets because a lot of them exist in other years. Some of them don't. I sort of have to adapt on the fly. But my first scroll through here, I have 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. In 2022, there's rookie card logos on it. So we have that right here. But this is 2022, 2023 season. We have Julian Alvarez Prism autos. That looks like I think that's a Prism auto with an autograph pulled off something else and put onto the Prism card, I think. We have a Chronicles laser out of 10 here. There's just so many different options, but I'm going to basically just pause the video for a bit, go sift through this myself. One of the easiest ways would, of course, just be to go sort from highest, but that's not truly how you figure out what the go-to rookie is. There's more to it than that. The highest one might be a 1 of 1, and that's not really going to do all too much. I guess we'll give a peek over there just for some reference. So as I scroll about here, we have a 2022 1 of 1 from the Prism World Cup. As you can see, the Kaboom seem to be somewhat desirable. Rookie logo on there as well. Immaculate's up here. We have the Manga. Notably, nothing really over 1,000, which is kind of surprising. Maybe if I go to Card Ladder sales history and look at a bigger scope and other websites, we might get there. We have this Contra. Some different things that we weren't seeing. The case hits, of course, are going to be up here as well that we wouldn't be seeing just in general. They're pretty rare to be able to find. But also, even when you get into that, what counts as a rookie to who? The old approach to being a rookie card was that inserts don't matter. It has to be pack pulled, all these, things that make it really, really specific. And as we've gotten towards the modern age, people seem to care less and less about it, which really opens up all of the doors in terms of possibilities. So I have a pyramid here. I'm going to take screenshots of all the cards and try my best to rank them sort of where I believe that they would go. And then from there, we're going to have to dive into parallels and tons of other stuff. All right, so here we are over at the pyramid. The pyramid's a little askew, and we'll talk about why that is. So one thing that I learned really early on into this whole thing is that I was going to have to make some little side projects within the pyramid itself. In the bottom right, you will be seeing all of the cards, at least within the 300 to 400 cards that I searched, that I wasn't even going to consider for one reason or another. Maybe they're a patch, maybe they're just, not a release that seems all that meaningful, maybe they're autograph, whatever it may be. You can't really put them in here because it's just so hard to weigh them, and they're almost their own thing. So I can very much understand why that premise exists, that, base cards are true rookies, because in order to be able to consolidate this all down to a reasonable amount to digest, you need to get rid of some of it. And so that's just a section of what I could have got rid of. I'm sure if I wanted to go through even more eBay listings, I'd put more cards on there, but I don't want to. And before we keep going, keep in mind this isn't supposed to be Julian Alvarez's actual best list. It's my attempt at what I would create, and really what it's meant to show is the struggle that it entails. So continuing that struggle just a little bit further, I decided to put sort of the case hit style cards in their own section off to the right. These might not necessarily be case hits, but basically they're rare enough and you don't see them enough to the point to where they're desirable on their own for that reason, and they sort of have cult followings. I did rank them a little bit in terms of what I feel would be the top compared to the bottom ones. Could put Renaissance a bit lower, but ultimately, that's sort of how I see it. I feel like Kaboom would be the top top dog, and then probably Color Blast too, but who knows. And then we'll cut into the pyramid. So for the bottom tier, I have just sort of some odd and ends that I don't feel like would really gain any traction for most any reason in terms of soccer. They might look good, they might have some shine to them, but I don't really think that they're sets that are all too cared about. The next tier above that, we have Topps Finest on the far left, followed by Prism Breakaway, and then you have Optic, a couple Select, Stadium Club, and a Topps Museum. Ultimately, you know, all of these are sort of sets that people know, some people like in particular, some people don't care about, and so ultimately they're just sort of thrown into the mix of it and left to be somewhat desirable, but not, you know, some mainstay sets. And the next row up, we have Topps Chrome on the far left, followed by Immaculate, and then we have a field level from Select, along with Merlin, Prism, and his rookie sticker. You could certainly put the rookie sticker lower, but I feel like in terms of importance, if you're just talking about truly what is a desirable collectible, I think rookie stickers for World Cups, especially World Cup winning seasons for a player like this, is still going to be probably more meaningful than most of the other cards in this in terms of people being able to pick it out of a lineup. So while it may be one of the cheapest ones, I think it should be up there. You know, the other ones I do think have a shout for being good, which is why they're there, but I don't think that they really have all that much of a claim of being the top dogs, which is why they aren't on the top echelon, which takes us to the top echelon, which for me, I chose Prism and Topps Sapphire. Reason being, I mean, Prism World Cup is going to be more important than Prism Premier League for obvious reasons. I do think that there's an argument for the Panini sticker if you were talking maybe rare parallels of it as well, and that type of stuff, but I try not to consider that too much. But I don't really think many on Tier 2 have an argument for Tier 1, and I think Tier 1 at least has reasons for being there. You could also make a case for many of the other cards that were kept off to the right-hand side to be up here in these tiers, but the problem is how do you value those things and how they all sort of work on their own. They all have their own different intricacies, so you have to figure that out on your own, but it just ultimately is a very hard task. So I went with Prism and Sapphire, and I feel pretty good about that. I don't think it's particularly egregious. There may be other options out there, but I don't think that those are harsh ones at all. And so to get another point of view on what are the highest selling cards, we can just look towards what are the highest selling cards. I didn't actually look at this until after, conveniently enough, the 2022 Prism out of 10 gold is the highest. Now also notably, it looks like it's sold from the same seller in back-to-back listings, so you know, you never really know how that plays out. Presumably the lower one got paid, but you never know. After that, there's one of ones. Typically, I just sort of discount one of ones. I mean, if it's a one of one, it's almost its own thing, so it doesn't really hold that much significance in my head. As you can see here, 2.8K, 2.5, 2.4 for a one of one. Out of 5 Prism here goes for nearly 2K. Keeping it moving though, we got a white Sparkle Premier League Prism down here as well, which, you know, there is a good case to be made for Premier League Prism being some of the best, but also notably, we won't be seeing much Sapphire in here, but the lowest numbered Sapphire to sell is an out of 15, so it's not really in the same ballpark as a lot of these, which makes it a bit difficult to compare. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, it seems like what I came up with makes sense. But ultimately, the point is to show that it is quite a difficult task to be able to take in all of this and try to decide what is the correct one. And despite whether or not we can personally do that, the greater hobby is going to have troubles doing that and doing it consistently with the same outcomes. Essentially, everyone is almost left to their own devices in terms of what they think is the best, right? And something I find relatively concerning here, right, is we look in the last 3 months on eBay for Julian Alvarez cards that are within his rookie year, and there is 2,400 sales in the eBay history, which means basically every single day there's 25 to 30 of this guy's cards selling. And you know, let's look at someone else that's comparable, right? I thought of Mario Kempes, another Argentine amazing forward, you know, won a World Cup, but very much his World Cup, and just a player with all the accolades that Julian Alvarez could ever hope for. And you know, he has 220 sales, and the highest one in all of this is $290 for one that has Messi on it. It's not even his, really. Truly, what is the highest sale is this Kempes Flawless, which apparently sold for $125. Again, it sold twice, so you go with the lower sale, $125. I mean, that is as high as any of his prices have gotten. Now, you can find other sales off eBay. I mean, there are some, but point being, basically no one's paying almost more than $100 for anything Mario Kempes. But currently, we have people lining up out the door to buy Julian Alvarez. I'm going to put $100 in on the minimum price. There have been 252 sales for basically higher than anything Mario Kempes was selling for. That's just pretty crazy, and I think that despite these things being rare in their own sense and having their own unique nature to each and every card, they are not inherently rare at all, and I think that ultimately this is going to be very problematic for a lot of Ultra Modern. Funnily enough, in all my searching, this really never appeared in any of the sales, so it wasn't being bought and sold all that frequently. This is the earliest Julian Alvarez as far as I'm aware, so technically if we wanted to be, 100% true to form, you could say that this is the true rookie, but obviously with it being $15 to $20, no one's really acting like it is. It's also very common, so that plays a huge role, but as you can tell, not really seen as a true rookie per se. And so I think that's where we're at. The death of the true rookie, it was a question mark coming in, and at the end of the day, I think that all of these cards just make it incredibly hard for both the collector and a newbie alike to be able to figure out what a true rookie is or what they should, truly desire over the others when there's just too many options. It's akin to going into a restaurant and seeing a menu with 200 different things. You don't really even know what you're getting when you go into it, and it really just becomes a crapshoot. I can't imagine that too many people are going to want to sit there, take the time out of their day to go and chart out 50 to 100 to hundreds of Julian Alvarez cards, and then after this, go and pick out their favorite parallel, of which there's 20 to 30 in a product of every single one of these, and truly feel like they have something unique. Even though it might say it is, I don't think that it's really true. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments on the topic. And if you want some more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to subscribe. But with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and peace.